Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Louisa Dana and I create content on the student life experience of students in France. If you love stuff like this, subscribe to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about money. Okay, yeah, so as an international student, when you're coming into a new country, you want to know how much you need to budget for your rent, your food, your transportation. Just want to know on an average how much do people spend here. So in order to make a video like this to help you out, I decided to create a Google form asking people how much on a monthly basis they pay for rent, for transportation, for food, for phone bills and other stuff. I sent out these Google forms to all student platforms that I am on in France. So this groups had students from Lille especially and other cities like Paris, Nantes in France. And so out of sending out these forms, I was able to gather 41 responses from students, and I'm going to share with you on an average how much they spend on all these amenities, and as well as talk about my own personal expenses, and this will give you a broad idea as to what to budget for your total expenses in France. So from the 41 responses that I gathered, I'm going to share with you the maximum price they all spend on each category. So first with rent, the average monthly rent from the responses I gathered was 409 euros, and the maximum was somewhere around 610 and the minimum at 207 euros. And so if you're coming here and then you want to budget, I would say give rent something like 500 euros, because most of the rent responses that I received were skewed towards 450, 60s and almost 500. So when you budget 500, I think that is okay for you. Personally, I spend 265 on rent, and which is way below the average because I live in a cruise apartment. Usually cruise apartments have lesser rent cost. So if you want to budget something low, I would advise you to try finding a cruise apartment. It's quite difficult to get into, but just try. If you don't, it's fine. 400 euros you could get a good place to live as well. And for some accommodations, you have to pay extra for other amenities like your electricity, your water, your data. So I included this in the responses, and the average I got for this was 57 euros, and the maximum was 110 and the least was around 20 euros. Just in case your accommodation doesn't include all this into the total rent you pay, you can also budget for around 50 euros on an average for other amenities. And so since we have 500 for your rent and we have 50 for other amenities, at this point you're at 550 euros. And to transport, from the responses I gathered, the average amount that was spent on transport was 29 euros, the maximum was 75 and the least was 20. Transportation largely depends on the distance between your accommodation and your school. People are much lucky to have their school right behind the accommodation, and so you don't need to pay anything for accommodation because you walk to school. Only if you have to go like visit other people or have fun somewhere that is far, and then you would spend a little. But when you live far away, like myself, I live far away from my school, and so every day I have to take the tram, I have to take the metro from my home to my school, and so I have to subscribe to like a monthly metro pass, which is around 35 euros, I think, yes, for myself. And this price varies based on where you live. I think for Lille is around 35 euros for people that are less than 25 years, and 60 euros for people, I think 60 euros for people that are above 25. So yeah, it depends on where you are, but from what I gathered, the average was somewhere 29, 30, so that's fine. So for phone bills, I calculated 15 as the average, 97 as the maximum, and 2 for minimum as the minimum cost that is spent. And I think this also varies based on the network provider you choose to take. Personally, I use Leica Mobile, and so I spend 10 euros on my monthly phone bills. So that doesn't take so much, but it depends on your consumption of data, of course, and it depends on the provider you choose to go for. At this point, with rent, with your other amenities, your transport and your phone bills, you should be budgeting around 600 euros for a month. And now we move to food, the basic source of life. So with food, it largely depends on yourself. Are you someone who loves to cook, who loves to eat from home, or you like eating out? This depends largely on you. So for food, 161 euros was the average that was spent per month, and then we had 500 for the maximum and we have 50 for the minimum. Personally, I wasn't someone who used to like really cook for myself when I was back in Ghana, because it's easier to get what I want when I go out to buy from a choba or something. But so when I moved in here, it's been quite challenging to try shifting to the cooking from home and eating from home. So I tend to spend quite much eating outside, and it also depends on how busy the month is going to be. If maybe this week I have a free weekend, then I can cook. If I don't have a free weekend, I can't cook, and so I have no option than to eat from outside. So if you are able to control yourself to eat from home, 150 euros should be enough for a month on food, I think. But if you go in between eating from outside and then eating from your home, then 200 euros, 250 should be enough. But if you don't cook at all and you just want to eat outside, then you should be budgeting somewhere around 300 euros, depending on the city you are as well, because in Lille things are at least a little bit cheaper. But when you live in Paris, you know. So if you should budget 250 euros for your food, at this point you should be around 850 euros per month on all other expenses. And to the extra expenses in life, sometimes you have to go out for a drink, you have to chill, travel, explore. So from the responses I gathered, the maximum that is spent on exploration, 600 euros. The average was around 153 and the least was 10 euros. So if you know you have someone who loves to explore, who loves to travel, you should be budgeting somewhere around 200 euros per month. It's quite too much, but I don't know, I think that's like maximum. And if you know you're like somewhere there, you don't really go out once in a while, I think 100 euros should be enough for a month. Yeah, but if you're also like not there at all, probably 20 euros or 50 euros should be enough, because sometimes you have to maybe contribute to a birthday party, or your class invites you for a drink out, you need to buy a cocktail for 10 euros or something. So yeah, and talking about the entire, so with the fun parts, largely depends on you, but let's say you're somewhere in the middle, so you're going to budget around 150 euros, so plus 850, we have 1,000. So as a student coming to France, 1,000 euros on a monthly budget should be enough for your rent, your other amenities, your transportation, food, everything. I think 1,000 euros is enough, way enough. But you can be here and be spending on less than that, like myself, because I don't have to pay so much rent and I spend just 30 euros on transportation and 10 euros on my phone bills, and so I'm somewhere around 300 and I spend, let's say, 100 euros on food. So 500 euros is way enough for me to live on in a month. I hope this video was very informative and that you can know what to budget for as you plan on moving into France. This brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you loved it. Leave a like if you really do. Leave a comment on anything you want me to talk about or any comments you want to add, and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, bye.